Today I'm stepping backward in the Gospel of John. Yesterday I shared the theme passage for our worship service and for this week from John 14, 1 to 6. But if you step back into the end of chapter 13 in verses 33 to 38, you see what actually sets that up. And these are the verses in which Jesus says, I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, so you also should love one another. And Peter asked Jesus a question. He says, Lord, where are you going? Jesus answered, this is our verse for the day. Jesus answered, where I am going, you cannot follow me now, but you will follow me afterward. And what Jesus is referring to here is his passion, that he is going to undergo the betrayal, the arrest, the suffering, and eventually the death on the cross. So when he's saying, where I'm going, you cannot follow me now, he's saying to Peter, you're not going to be able to, only I can do this. Nobody else can do it with me or for me at this moment. And Peter's response is, Lord, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you. And Jesus answers, will you lay down your life for me? And then we have those terribly weighted verses. Very truly I tell you, before the cock crows, you will have denied me 3 times. Jesus walks a path for Peter's sake, the disciples' sake, and for the sake of all the world. Nobody else can walk it. And yet, as we will find out later in John's Gospel, in the final chapter, where Jesus and Peter reconnect, that Jesus foretells that Peter will eventually walk the same path, that he will lay down his life, he will be martyred for the sake of his faith in Christ and for helping people on the way of Jesus. When I reflect on this passage, part of what it makes me think is, just as there were some things that only Jesus could do and nobody else could do it for him or with him, there are some things in your life and mine that only we can do. Nobody else can do it. They can't do it for us. They can't do it with us. And there are some things that, you just have to find the faith, the courage, the strength, the resilience to do what needs to be done, which is a phrase that my wife Jill and I used for many years with our sons growing up. It's kind of one of our family sayings. Do what needs to be done. Because there are some things, if you don't do them, they simply won't happen. And that is especially true of Jesus going to the cross for you and for me.